Mark in the count. The swing arm now coming back as our countdown continues.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening if you're on the East Coast. Hello, hello, hello. I'm Brick Something, and today I'm happy to be joined by Carlos Espino of the Badass Reviews. What's up, Carlos?
What's up, man? How's everything?
It's good. It's good. As folks know, I have been out of the country for quite a bit. For about 20 days, I was in Japan, and
nice.
it was amazing, man. Like you and I off screen, we were just talking about something from Japan that we'll bring up again later. But so much of this whole toy thing and pop culture thing, for me, I'm a child of the 70s, born in 1976.
Well, I'm from 75.
Okay. So roughly the same era. So much of the toys and cartoons and comics have such like deep influence and roots and intermingling with the pop culture of Japan that it was beautiful to go back, man.
Especially in Latin America for us. I mean,
yes.
At least for me, I think you guys, because you're from Philippines, I think you have pretty much the same influence cartoon-wise like us in Latin America. It was a lot of Japanese influence back in the like late 70s, early 80s. Was all about like you know, like animes and mangas and stuff like that. And, you know,
Voltus 5. Yeah, all of them, the giant robot stuff. So just to be clear, I was born in LA here in the US, but like we had that. So my brother was also born here, but he went over as a young kid to the Philippines for a little bit, like a little, I think he was there just for a short trip when our grandfather passed away before I was born. And he picked up some of that influence and then came back here. And then we grew up in LA. So there is a very healthy Japanese population in LA like forever, right? For as long as there were people almost, right? And so, but there's the Japantown there was a toy store, man, called Pony Toy Go Round. That had everything that he and I and my parents would go to quite often and just look at stuff. So it would like get burned in my brain. So all that to say, being in Japan, I got to see all sorts of stuff that was just like member berries, but also just like really hit me with like, oh man, I love this stuff. I love the designs, I love the characters, and the influence that it has on our modern toy collecting, whether it's like the connections between Transformers and Henshin Cyborg and Diaclone, or Henshin Cyborg and G.I. Joe, all that stuff. So had a great trip. All that to say is like, this is my first time doing the news again live. The last couple of weeks have been pre-recorded. And so it's good to be back. And it just happens to be that today I'm doing like couple of shows. I just came off of Highly Articulated's channel. We did an AWOC talk with Jason from Spiro.
Nice. Jason is my brother. He's such a great guy. Yeah.
So good. And then today I'm doing this now with you. And then in a little bit, I'll be doing Geek Dad Life. So it's a nice to be home. Let's get back sort of into the rhythm. So, all right. That said, let's talk a little bit. We'll say hello to folks, but before that, if you're new to the show, if you're catching this on replay, so we're going to go over quote unquote news, but you'll notice it's an acronym and it stands for Needless Ephemera We Saw, because some of it's news and a lot of today is news. Some of it's just stuff we want to talk about. But if you want to follow along, there's that URL down there, bit.ly/Brick Something News, capital B, capital S, capital News. And that'll take you to a thing after the live show where it'll have all that stuff. Or over by Carlos, there's a QR code that just popped up. If you're fancy like that, you can scan it in and go there. Okay. That's it. Let's quickly see who is all here today. Thank you to everyone who came. Sorry that we were a little bit late. That's all me. We ended highly articulated a little late and we're rushing. So, okay, real quick, first in the chat, and he's been here for a while. He dropped this, probably is like sleeping right now. But Ace from Ramen Toy.
Ace right there, my brother Ace.
He's like, he knows what we're going to talk about. He knows the mention because it's in the description. But yes, thank you for the mention specifically for their new exciting kind of phase of the life of Ramen Toy. There's a new license that they picked up that we'll talk about, which is great. I know you and him are close. The two of you are talking all the time. So you've got some info that's going to be great to share.
Yep.
Ramen Ace was first. Scott, what's up? Scott Baker was next, and Oz is here now. What's going on, Oz?
What's
good
up, guys?
to see you. We got Nick Dillinger in the house. Thank you for tapping in, man. I really appreciate you stopping. Oh my God, Scott, thank you so much for becoming a member of the Brick Something channel. That's awesome. And in fact, since I've been in Japan, like I've been recording stuff and just kind of showing the members a little bit of what I've seen. So how's Grogu's ears there? Giving him that little ear massage. He likes that?
I know, right? This is kind of like my relaxing toy in the toy room when I'm doing like reviews.
Oh, I love it.
Look how big it is.
His head became a stress toy. No, that's really cute. That's great. Is that the puppet?
This is the one from Walmart.
Oh, okay. It's got a plushy body with a rubber head.
Exactly. But it's really, I mean, I got this for my daughter, but my daughter is not anymore like into toys. So yeah, so now it's mine.
Oh, I'm familiar with that concept. Oh no, I'm getting this for the kids, honey.
I know, right? No, but actually this was for my daughter, but she stopped playing anymore. Like she doesn't play anymore with Barbies and stuff. So
yeah. I've got a couple big dinosaurs that were theirs that are now mine. John, good to see you. Thank you for teleporting here. And Oz, thank you for this reminder, especially for the folks in the replay. I'd appreciate it if you could do that. It helps the channel, helps let people know on YouTube that we exist and they should come check it out. Thanos Copter, what's going on, man? Thank you so much. And thank you for always dropping in the links during the live. He'll be dropping in the links as we talk, at least the ones I've prepared for him, which should be most of them. Let's see. Genmas. Hey, there's this guy. Solo Sinner. What's going on? Hell yes. G-Force in the thumbnail for reasons. Gatchaman. Yes, thank you. I appreciate the self-correct there. But yeah, G-Force, Gatchaman, Battle of the Planets. We will be talking about that. Yep.
In Spanish, Fuerza G.
Fuerza G. G-Force. Yeah. Let's see. Ray Pods, what's going on, Ray? Good to see you as always, man. Really appreciate you. Endless Fables. Glad to be here, he says, and I'm glad you are here. And I hope you had an awesome time at the Walt Disney World family of parks. He took a Atreyu custom figure and took pictures of him at the park, which is awesome. Rick Jones, what's going on? Good to see you. Ray Black, hello. Matthew Matson, hello, sir. KJ Smith, always awesome to have you in the news. Jim Largo of Largo's Lair is here. Look at that. Konnichiwa. Hello, sir. This guy, what's going on? Often overlooked is the fact that a lot of the most popular 80s cartoons were made by Japanese animation studios. Yes, we got the secret anime of Thundercats, of G.I. Joe, because they had Japanese animation studios working on that stuff. So technically speaking, that's Japanese animation. Greg Archer, thank you for stopping in. That's awesome. Boom. What was better, Brick? The toys or the scenery? Man, for me, the toys are the scenery as well as the scenery. It's all beautiful. What was better? Probably the scenery. The people, like, man, I could do a whole other show about just traveling the world. I love traveling the world and getting to kind of see how other folks do things. And like many people, I know it's cliche, I wish I could stay. My kids said that. They were like scheming to try and figure out how they could move there. Yeah, that's an 11-year-old and a 13-year-old.
I need to go to Japan, definitely.
Yes.
Never been. I travel a lot with my family also because we believe in, creating memories and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's one of the actually in the bucket list that we need to especially because we were talking about like we're kids from the 70s, and you know, and to me, like that big influence of Japanese animation on my childhood, you know, Mazinger Z,
Yes.
Captain, what's the name? Oh man, it
Harker.
was in Spanish.
Harker.
In Spanish was Captain Reimer, but it was in English was
Battleship Yamato. Is that
no.
where you're?
No,
No.
Yamato. It was the same guy who did Yamato. He did Captain
Different.
Harlock.
Harlock. That's what I said. Harker. Harlock. Yes, sorry. That's what I was.
Yeah,
I was going for.
I'm a huge fan of Captain Harlock back in the days.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, beautiful. I have two of those ships, like the first one and the one, the green one, the blue one. Man, I love that.
Love those designs, man. Yeah, you, me, and my brother should get together. We just talk about that stuff forever. What's up? Your brother in toys. What's going on, Jorge? Toy Addict is in the house. What's up, guys? Hey, we got Trevor Williams, 1/6 shooter. We're gonna be looking at. We'll be looking at
my brother Trevor, dude. That's one of my big influence photography. He's one of the most amazing photographers in the world, dude.
100%.
And the world of toy, that's the man right there.
And we'll be looking at his, I was going to say, we'll be looking at his work, but it's like, it's hard not to look at his work these days because he's taking pictures of like all my favorite lines, even ones that don't exist yet.
Exactly.
Gabriel Pinto. Gabriel, what's going on, man? Thank you for coming through. I realized I didn't even finish this yet. There's so many things. Let's see. And it's awesome. Thank you all for coming through for the live. Justin Booth, hello to you. I want to acknowledge everybody who's here because you guys make the show just as fun as Carlos and I. All right. So there's plenty of comments about Japan. Wish I could see all of them, but let's move through. We've got some stuff to talk about. So let's go ahead and how does this all work? See, you're gone for a little bit and then it's like, how do I do this again? Okay. So I believe I do this. No, that wasn't work. Maybe it's this. Yeah, there you go.
Got it.
Yeah. And then we do something like, okay. Whew. Man. All right, let's talk about the stuff that we've seen. We've the Needless Ephemera We Saw, the scene. All right, let's start off with something that I know you've been really into. You've been sharing on your IG, and that's the joy of JoyToy Warhammer specifically. This is your IG, and this shot I saw, I was like, man, that thing is dope. And you actually ended up sharing with me, like, let's talk about this. I was like, perfect, we're on the same page. So, do you? I know you've got a couple, but is this a new thing or have you been in this line for a while?
Okay, so JoyToy. I mean, I started checking JoyToy like a long time ago because I was collecting actually the McFarlane Toys Warhammer figures, right? But I was like, man, I do not collect 1/18 because those are 1/18 scale, right? But one of my good friends, Bonsai Jason, he's on Instagram, man, he showed me a picture, like a shot, somebody, I don't know, about like some JoyToy figures, I think it was like Grey Knights, and I was like, oh my God, this is incredible, this is amazing. So I started getting into it, and I was like, you know what, let me go to BBTS, and I'm going to get just one.
Okay.
I'm going to get just one Space Marine, a blue Space Ultramarine. That's it. $25. That's it.
Yep.
And that was it. And now I have like a whole shelf full of JoyToy action figures. And thankfully, because I'm taking pictures, I'm on the community right now. I got in contact with actually JoyToy, and they actually sent me a message. I was blown away. When they're like, hey, dude, will you be interested in like reviewing figures for us in your YouTube channel?
Very cool.
And taking some photography and stuff. And I was like, of course. So dude, next day, I mean, not next day, but I mean, next week, I got like this big box full of JoyToy Warhammer action figures to review, photograph, and everything. And now I'm part of the community with some photographers. My Instagram is more about photography, toy photography, sharing news and stuff like that. But my YouTube is, of course, about toy reviews and stuff. So I'm doing both during my time off, which is not much because I don't have that much time, to be honest with you. But I love it. I enjoy this. One of the main things, like to me with JoyToy, for example, is like, man, Warhammer, believe it or not, I was never into Warhammer till now.
That was my next question. Was this something you followed? Because it's always been something that like some of the Japanese stuff we were talking about earlier. Like I remember seeing Warhammer as a kid, and there's no way that the imagery of these big, bulky, armored like dudes, but like there's a fantasy element mixed in there too with some of the stuff. And I was just like, I remember that stuff, but I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know.
It's one of the most amazing stories I ever read. I'm now into the books and stuff. I'm just behind 300 and something books, I think.
Okay.
And it's like over 30. It's like over 30 years of history. But the main plot, for the ones who don't know about Warhammer, I mean, is pretty much you have humanity that is fighting against like the alien invasion and demons and stuff like that and the warp. And so pretty much you have this dude called the Emperor of Mankind, which is a sidekick, godlike type of guy that is building this army of super soldiers trying to protect the galaxy from the alien invasion, protecting humanity. So that's why they call him the Emperor of Mankind.
Okay.
So he's fighting aliens, demons, you name it, orcs, you name it. So, and it's crazy. And then you have these big guys, like the one that I'm showing, you're showing right now is Horus, which is Primarchs. The Primarchs are like kind of like demigods, and they're like the genetic sons of the Emperor. So he pretty much created these 20 sons, genetic sons of himself, divided them around the whole galaxy and put them in charge of these armies and trying to protect Terra, which is Earth.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what it is. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's huge. It sounds like it's a huge, expansive story, and like also there's room there to kind of just create all sorts of like different factions and storylines.
It's insane. So it's insane.
That's how you get to 200, 300 books or whatever it was,
and the detail on those figures is what, because I'm a action figure guy.
Yeah.
So when I see a 1/18 scale action figure with that amount of articulation, that amount of sculpting, paint apps, and everything, to me, that is a piece of art. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Absolutely, man. And folks are like loving, the stuff that your photos, and then this review. This is on IG, but from your TikTok. But just seeing you kind of take these things through their paces helps me. Like I stay away from it largely because of scale and money, but it's amazing to me always whenever I see like the images of these things or people talking about them, the level of detail that they achieve in a small scale. Granted, the armor, this guy's he's not tiny, right? With armor and everything.
He's the size pretty much is like that. Horus is one of the Primarchs, one demigod. So he's pretty much picture. He will be like around 12 feet tall.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you compare him to a regular action figure, he will be the size of a McFarlane big scale action figure.
Even like head size, is it comparable to a McFarlane head or smaller?
No, it's smaller because he's kind of like a big dude in a big armor, right?
Gotcha. Yeah. So that's how I just wanted to be clever. Okay.
So yeah.
Dude, it's beautiful, and the paints look so clean on these. Yeah, I'm blown away by this.
You don't want to get into that line.
No, I don't. But
it's a rabbit hole. It's a rabbit
I live
hole
through you.
I'm really deep on it, and that's a lot of money because they're not cheap at all.
Yeah, Look at that glove, all the articulation, the freaking machine
that's
gun
the
on
main
the.
that's the main bad guy. His name is Horus. He
Gotcha.
betrayed the Emperor.
Ah, got it.
Yeah. He got influenced by the chaos gods, which were like demon type of guys, and they put him into like facing his dad, and he pretty much almost killed his dad.
Beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
And then you've got this stuff. Again, another larger character. You can see him next to Horus there.
But yeah, that other one is Magnus the Red. Magnus the Red is the Primar, is another demigod. He's his brother, actually. And he's the Primar, or the main guy for the Thousand Sons chapter, which they're kind of like into the Egyptian type of guys.
Okay. Versus like the other guy you're talking about, definitely more like a Roman vibe, huh?
Yeah, Horus has like a Roman type of vibe, especially because he was the captain, he was the warlord for the Emperor.
Got it.
He was the main general of his army.
Yeah.
So yeah. And
these are all yours, or is this a
no. That's an image from the JoyToy
company
panel.
Yeah.
Where they show, see, this is a 1/18 scale figure, regular 1/18 next to the Primar.
Got it. So like he's physically, even his head is a little bit bigger. I'm curious if you were to stand this larger guy next to a a Mythic Legions figure, are they
I can
close?
I can do
no, it's fine. No, I mean, I'm just curious. Like,
yeah, they fit. If you put a Primar, for example, I have some friends that they're just buying the Primars because the Primars are like big dudes.
Oh yeah, that's what these characters are. Got it. The Primar.
Correct. So they're just buying the big guys. So those big guys you can match with Mythic Legions, with Sesray Studios, with you name it. Yeah.
See, that's why I shouldn't have asked, because the reason I was asking was to like, could I make this work? Because Adam knows. He's like, just get one, Brick. But
well, I don't know if you know, I think Bill White from Mythic Legions, he collects them, and I think he has a couple, and dude, they're really, really good, and they match. What's up, Jose? So yeah, I mean, they match. You can mix them with Mythic Legions pretty easy.
Woo! Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. And so Greg, seeing these as well, sounds like, for the first time, or some of them for the first time. And it's hard to like process. Wait, that's 118, because some of them are larger, but also but they are 118, and the level of detail even in the smaller figures is what's wild, I think. Because it's hard to wrap your head around being able to fit all that detail.
It's insane. It's insane because now that I'm into the lore and stuff like that, I'm checking the guys that actually does the miniatures.
Yep. Back in there, because it was a game. Yeah, it was mainly a game back in the day.
The game is from almost 30 years ago.
Yeah. See, that's how I knew it, is in hobby shops back in the day.
Yes, that's still going on strong. Actually, Henry Cavill collects those miniatures. He painted them and everything. Yeah. He's big into that.
Yeah. Trying to get it made, right? Trying to get
so what they do is like JoyToy recreate those miniatures into these action figures. So they try to put all that detail, paint-wise and sculpting, into these action figures with articulation, which is insane. It's
great stuff.
To be honest.
Great stuff, man. I love it. And see, he gets it. I'm the same way. I'll live vicariously through you. But I just love it. I love the art of toy. I love this stuff. It's sculpture, it's painting, it's my version of fine art. It is fine art, period. But I say to some people who are outside of toys, who don't really understand it, to me, I appreciate this stuff like someone would a painting or a piece of sculpture. So a traditional sculpture. So Vanagan saying JoyToy puts out all kinds of cool figs, got their zombies, and absolutely love them. Yeah, that's the thing. This is just one particular IP that they have.
They have a bunch of other toy lines.
Yep.
And they're amazing, dude. The mechs, holy cow, dude. They're insane.
Well, so let's go from these, which are like these big exaggerated characters, to an artist for a second who was really, I feel like if this guy, Joe Madureira, were to do some artwork of Warhammer, it'd be perfect in his wheelhouse, but it would have a little bit more of a like a new graph / anime vibe, manga next to it. So this is 90s, early 2000s.
I remember that.
Yep.
Age
This artist.
of Apocalypse, right?
Yes. So this is the era of X-Men. So I grew up as an X-Men kid. Since I was basically 6 years old is when I started buying Uncanny X-Men comics. And we had New Mutants via my brother in the house. And so I was, the Claremont kid and went through, and then things shifted, right? And then they found new people in the folks that eventually became the Image Comics people, right? So you had your Jim Lee, your Rob Liefeld, etc. And then those guys go off after working on the X books for a while and being kind of a big deal. Everyone's like paying attention to what's going on with things like the New Mutants 100 turning into X-Force, this guy named Cable, like what's he about? And then, Jim Lee making a big splash on Uncanny X-Men, which then became 2 books. Anyways, nerd history. Then they leave to go to Image Comics. And so Marvel's like, what are we going to do? So they bring in a whole new stable of folks, including Joe Madureira. And right around that time, these young folks, as well as the writers, right? So it wasn't just this artist, but I'm focusing on him for a second for reasons, brought in this fresh new way of looking at the X-Men. So you'll see like definitely like a manga style, what people now call sometimes like new graph style, especially tattoo artists, but like exaggerated proportions, right? Like that is like gigantic torsos, super thin waists, right? Very different from what was the Marvel house style for a long time. And so they started with this thing called Age of Apocalypse. I just bring this up because this is what I remember. Like in my brain, I was like, oh yeah, Joe Mad. I remember his stuff. It was exciting. I thought he drew better than even a lot of the Image guys. So I was really excited when he jumped on these books. And then he goes off to join those guys to create his own book in this Battle Chasers. Real quick before I go too far, were you familiar with his work at the time? You said you remember. It sounded like
back in the days, I was a big fan of Joe Madureira because I was big time into that Age of Apocalypse era. And I remember the first. I remember like it was yesterday. The first comic was when Post show up. And Post was one of the heralds for Apocalypse at that time, or it was Onslaught. Sorry. And Post, when he attacked the X-Men, that was after or before Age of Apocalypse. I think it was before, I believe. I don't know. I don't remember. But I remember Joe Madureira really, really, really good. I remember all like the designs. They were really... Actually, they did some action figures inspired on his art. Back in those days. I remember really exaggerated with the boots were big.
It's funny you said the boots. Absolutely, the big feet, right? Yeah, absolutely. And then, so he ends up going to do his own comic with Image called Battle Chasers, and I have those, the first couple of issues. And they, like many Image comics at the time, you get one issue and then you'd wait for a while till the next issue got done. And then eventually it was like, it just sort of stopped. I think it was like 3 issues or something. And they just recently picked up again. And folks already know where I'm going. 1, geek culture, art stuff. I love it. 2, Battle Chasers was a mix of, it's like perfect for me, man. This is the whole issue 1, by the way, that is now available like on Image Comics. It was a mix of fantasy with like manga, sci-fi, mechs, all kind of rolled into a story. And it was just, fun. Like, honestly, could I tell you what the story was about? No. Could I tell you that it had monsters in and like, yes. Like, I remember these visuals, less so the story. And it didn't get very far either. So, right, you get sort of this kind of stuff. But anyway, Joe Madureira, like, did his thing and went on to keep working in comic books, and then moved into video games. which is where I'm going. Because as folks already pointed out, like, let's see, where was it? Folks are asking them here, you know, Jorge knows what I'm talking about. He said, did anyone pre-order the Abyss Knight death figure? Because he knows that that comes from a video game.
Darksiders.
Yep, Darksiders. That was art directed by Joe Madureira, who designed all the characters, and you saw his definitive art style in those designs. So that brings us to the video game. So this was the trailer. I won't show too much of it. Remember this? Rated M.
That's the second one, or is the first one?
This is the second one because of the character. Rated M for mature. Yeah, I wanted to focus in on the main character, the main sort of antagonist in this. Antagonist is, well, you'll see. There's big reveal, tease, and there's this guy. Yeah, it's probably not accurate to say antagonist. Anti-hero? I don't know.
Anti-hero, hero, whatever, main character, death.
Yeah, death, right? Of death of the influenced by the, you know, the biblical four horsemen, right? Behold a pale horse, right? And upon him was death. So this is their Joe Madureira's version of what death looks like on this beautiful flaming horse. And so as Jorge was talking about, I love this. This is Greg, you're right there with me. It's like, I think I did. We just, like, you know, click that buy button and then kind of forget about it. Ray's waiting on this death figure because this is what we're talking about. Yeah. And this past week, this account, a Key Lion 07, I don't know homie's like real name. It's just a Key Lion. But he is
images.
They're always showing like toys that I'm personally excited about. Like, I look at this person's collection and what they get access to. I'm just like, yeah, we got the same vibe. But so this is the figure based on that video game. This is that death. Very Joe Madureira, again, signature tiny waist, gigantic shoulders, right? But beautiful in plastic form, man. And so he was sharing, or they, I don't even know what their deal is, but they were sharing all sorts of shots of this. I think they did like maybe 10 different posts.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful. And I did not pre-order. And I'm so bummed that I didn't, because I was excited about it. People were talking about it on like the Enablers. And it's current. As far as pre-orders go at this moment, I can't find it anywhere that has it available for pre-order.
What about 5K Toys?
5K Toys doesn't have it up for pre-order. Bombasby doesn't. Gundam doesn't. There might be somewhere, you know, AliExpress, sure, but I you know, sometimes kind of unsure. Here they have them with that
Warcraft.
Yeah, World of Warcraft. I'm Illidan figure. But I mean, this looks perfect, right? In terms of like the scale I'm into, the sort of blend of genres I'm into.
Man, it looks impressive.
So I am with Thanos. I'm just going to wait for in-stocks, and they'll be there. Like that happens with 5K a lot. It's like, okay, the pre-orders are done. Some people don't follow up. So, you know, they'll be there, and I'm just got to just watch it. We're just going to watch them and wait for them. Yeah, this is my same question. As of right now, don't know, but some people did get them, and obviously because they're sold out. So I cannot wait for this thing to come out and then maybe to be available.
It looks incredible. The articulation, it reminds me the articulation for the Hellboy from 1000 Toys.
Oh, which I've never handled.
The shoulder articulation is pretty similar.
Okay.
That's the same type of articulation. I don't know about the material, what material they're gonna use on the actual body, because with the 1000 Toys Hellboy, what they use like an upper layer over the shoulder articulation that actually slide over the body.
Okay.
So it makes you feel a natural look. Like you see, it doesn't look cut, right? So you don't have a bicep articulation, but you have a rotation on the actual shoulder.
Okay.
It's an inner articulation there that is covered by that plate on the top.
I see.
Yeah, on the JoyToy, it's kind of like a rubber material. I don't know what material they're using here. I mean, but it works.
And, you know, I was definitely one of those who was like, I'm going to wait because the only thing that I've seen reviews of would be the Attack on Titans that Koser Toys did. Sorry, by the way, this is Koser, Coser Toys in collaboration with Flame Toys, or there's actually a name before that, but Dual Flame maybe.
With all these companies, they're changed names like
right.
Like
well, this one, yeah, no, so Coser again, they collaborate with a couple of different people to do different toys. It was let's see. Demon Flame. Flame.
What I like, he comes with 3 weapons, dude. The 2 little size and the big one.
Yep. Look at those. Oh, so I love these videos too, because again, it's sort of showing you the movement in the earlier sections, and then just a couple more shots. Like again, he clearly really likes this, or they do. Again, I don't know who the person is behind the camera, but because they have so many posts, and we don't have time to look at them all, but I love it. It's perfect for this McFarlane bat cycle.
It looks amazing. That can be his vehicle.
Yeah, look at that. And just, this person had a blast posing this thing up and just really sort of showing off what you can do with this, so how you might want to work it in. And again, Darksiders was a game that I've never even played, but I was familiar with his work. And I remember hearing that, oh, he's doing a video game. What's that going to look like? All original characters. But there might be there are some hardcore people into it. I know Ray is into it. But then you have to like attract others, right? And you attract them with like showing them pics like this that show like, hey, it could work with your McFarlane stuff. Just look how cool it looks. It could work with your Mythic Legions horses. I think he looks perfect on this.
And wait till they make War.
I've seen pictures.
That's the first one I was into it, because when game 1 came, War was the main character. And I remember the trailer, seeing this big dude facing these giants, this big dude with this badass sword. And I was like, oh my God, that's on my alley right there. and now I think they show in one image, they show the War and the horse. They're making the horse.
Okay.
For War. So that's going to be crazy.
I don't know that I've seen. What does War's horse look like?
I don't remember.
Okay.
But I know I saw an image. I don't remember right now where. I think it was the same guy. He posted an image of War, and I think on the back was the horse or something like that. They were like sculpting or working on the horse.
Well, I'm definitely excited for this. Andrew Gades, not so much. Nay, I see what you did there. What's going on, Andrew? And while we're at it, what's up, Alberto, Drew, Toy Box of Doom? Thanks for joining us. Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see what else they come with, because I clearly love this guy's art. So his design sensibility, I'm looking for like these little details of like the glove, the gauntlet.
Crazy.
That is just too cool. And then the soft goods too. I want to point that out. It's like the way they did the stitching around that kind of torn looking hide just makes it look legit. It looks really good and perfect on this horse.
Amazing about that figure.
Yeah. So it sounds like you didn't pre-order it either.
I pre-ordered.
Oh, you did.
Oh yeah.
Lucky. You smart bastard, you. Good job. Well done.
Dude, I saw that. I saw it and I was like, where's that? 5K Toys? Check.
Yeah. I wish I did. There were a bunch of things hitting. I was like, no, I need to pause. It's like, I don't need that rhino. That's another thing on 5K. I don't need this right now. Just pause, because you've got like all sorts of things coming in. Griffins.
And the ninjas, those demon ninjas, like
yeah.
Cyber.
There was a lot. Yeah.
And there were like 100, I think, limited 100 for United States or something like that. 150.
Yeah. I did pre-order. I did pre-order the 2-pack or whatever it was. Yeah, Alberto was pointing out like Madureira's work translates well in toy form, especially in this toy renaissance we live in now 100%. Because of the I think like the technology and where the art form has gone, it works so well with all the different like ways people can do articulation, the materials that people can use. As you pointed out, like they now have the benefit of being able to look back and look at that 1,000 Toys, Hellboy, and all these other things and kind of figure out the best way to translate this type of body into toy.
Yep.
Anyway, I love this, and I love this Mythic Legions horses. For my money, the Mythic Legions horses are like the best in the market, and it's always sort of like, man, they're on it. That said, oh, look at that! Look at that! I was gonna say Captain Marvel, but it's not. What is her name again?
Miss Marvel, but now they're calling her like Warbird. I mean,
that's the word. Yeah, I forgot her other name. Yeah, man, Warbird. That was kind of my era. With her and Rogue.
Man, now even Marvel Legends, they need to step up. I mean, the articulation on this thing is incredible. I just did a review on my YouTube channel. I think it may be up. I put it up like this afternoon. Maybe it's up already. And I did something on the IG, like a reel. But dude, the articulation on this thing is incredible.
Yeah, man, you're absolutely right that with all these new companies and people pushing things, even Hasbro has to rethink their stuff sometimes and realize the demands of the market. Like, okay, let's step it up. So,
which is good.
Options are good. Here's another beautiful Mythic Legions horse. So as I was saying, like the Mythic Legions horses have been my favorite, like the best horse on the market. That said, it's always good when new folks show up. And this case, just today, Fish Toys showed us a little bit more. They've teased this before, but they showed us this today. And this is essentially the same people that do D20. They rebranded from D20, which were like the wolves and the boar that I love.
I saw the white one. Oh my God.
Yeah. So they definitely have all sorts of colors, but can you imagine like not just the death that we just looked at, but any kind of, fantasy figure, anybody could write like hell.
Death Dealer, dude.
Yeah, Death Dealer, Conan. And then so obviously what's clearly unique with this offering is the sort of rooted hair, right? The real hair that at first, honestly, when I saw these, I was like, I don't know, like I don't know how that's going to work. But then in these shots,
it works.
Yeah, especially when you see it kind of like it's a material that's almost like fake fur, so that you can pose it, shape it. Gorgeous. Yep. Look at that. Yep. So it's in this, like it stopped quickly and all the hair is moving forward.
That's insane, dude. Like how far, like I was talking to my best friend, Jason, about it. And we were talking about how crazy the industry is like, pointed at, where in a few years, you're going to have people like you and me making your own toys in your own garage.
Yeah.
That's
sure. Printing and yep.
It is insane. It is insane. Like, I mean, thinking about it, I've seen this and we were talking about Joe Madureira and all those X-Men characters from back in the 90s. And I remember, I mean, if you compare those action figures with these things right now, dude, it's
it's wild and it's beautiful. And then the other, in addition to the sort of hair, like the body, and they're showing you like it can stand up, but the movement. So there, it's got, they're definitely
so
playing with what's possible. You can see all the hair laying down.
No, dude.
It's so natural looking, right? As you say.
Dude, I grew up in the country with horses and cows and stuff like that. That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
So
it's a big horse because that's a Accessory Studios figure.
and so, Adam, you never ask these kinds of questions. No. How much he's saying. And so this is the same company that has the Griffin currently on solicitation at 5K. And that thing is 80 something bucks. Now this has the hair and more, so it could be more. So like, I agree with Trevor here saying, yeah, probably around 100.
Yeah, 100. Yeah.
But oftentimes I will say, like, this company in particular, they, when they can, their stuff is affordable. And I say affordable, like if you're used to maybe buying Mattel figures at Target, this is not going to feel affordable. But if you're used to buying other types of figures, that like, then
Listen,
yeah.
$100 for that offering is not bad at all.
No, that's what I mean though. But like, I'll say that because, I'm looking at my shelf and I'm looking at some big, giant, beautiful Four Horsemen, figures and all sorts of stuff going on over here. That some Bandai May Show movie realization, that stuff can get up there. So when I look at this, it's like, yeah, $100, right? That 2-pack, God, that's a beautiful 2-pack. So, I don't know. Ray's thinking maybe 200. Maybe. I really don't think so, but who knows? And really at this point, it's going to be, what do we think? It's us supposing. And so I don't want to spend too much time on that. I do just want to admire what they're doing. And as you pointed out, it comes in multiple colors.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at the black one. Oh, I need that for my dead dealer.
Yeah. And so if you're gonna build a particular character, like you're saying, this is gonna be available right away. It's like they do the wolf, which I love, and then they've reused that wolf in different colors, different armor sets. So I suspect that they would do the exact same thing, knowing
how much is the wolf.
Like that was up there. That was like almost 100, depending on the armor set you got. Like they had all sorts of different variations. So now without the armor, there's a basic one that they were selling at one point for roughly 80.
Okay.
But that was with nothing. That was just the wolf.
Yeah, so but this horse comes with a sense of way more articulation.
And look at the tack. Yes, and it does. The boar was great too. Here's all the different stuff. But anyway, just this is one of those things where it's like, it's not a toy line. And I've always wondered about this. Like, could you create toys that are meant to be sort of like ancillary and auxiliary to other toy lines? And that's a smart way to go, like finding the need in the market and filling it. So
totally.
I dig it. Now, I know I kind of like said, oh, but Four Horsemen has the best horses. And now there's this, like, still Four Horsemen stuff's beautiful. Now they're giving us a skeleton horse. So like that stuff's not going away.
That skeleton horse from Necronominus with that death from Darksiders.
Yeah. So it's not going away, but this just gives us options, like dope options, especially for like, folks who want to take photography and do some photography in different forms. Imagine that hair, like
options are great, dude. Options are great. Some people
100%.
Some people in the community get too serious about it. And they're like, oh, you need to collect this line, or you need to be on this side of the wall, because if you're on the other side, whatever. Dude, come on, have fun with toys.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't care about toy politics. I don't care about that toy politics at all, dude. I'm friends with everybody. I collect everything I like. I mean, dude, it is what it is. Like it is what it is. And this is a free market where you can buy whatever you want and you can do whatever you like as soon as make you happy. And it's about enjoying life. To me,
imagine this one in a pit of mud, sinking to its doom. Sorry. Okay, I'll move on before I get too grim. Hey, speaking of options, I know, and that this Tuesday we're going to get a whole new toy line to be available for us to support and back if we want to see it happen. And that's Brutal Realm. And I know
Yes,
you and I both have a special interest in this. You have built this relationship with them, and you just did something. Was it just a couple days ago? When did you launch the Facebook group?
Dude, I mean, I was looking. This is one of the things that you need to, how I say this, you need to imitate what is good, right? Like, sure. And one of the most amazing communities in Facebook is the Mythic Legions Cabal.
100%.
It's one hell of a community where everybody try to help each other.
Yep.
You feel like you're in a family where everybody is there for you.
Sure.
And when I was following Brutal Realm since they were doing back in the days the designs, just the design, not for the action figures, but the actual painting on AI and stuff like that, right? Because I'm a huge Masters of the Universe fan, so I love everything about like big barbarian guys and stuff like that. So I was like, man, these look amazing. So I start sharing their stuff on my IG, and then out of the blue, I noticed they were making the toy line.
Yep.
So I was like, oh my God. So I start talking to the guys, great guys, by the way. They're amazing people.
Yep.
But then I went to Facebook and I was like, well, let me look if there's a community, since I know already the Kickstarter is coming. I need to know if they have a community where I can participate, show my enthusiasm, you know, like sharing people, hype people for the Kickstarter, whatever. And they were not. So I was like, oh no. So I went into Facebook right away without asking anybody, and I create the Brutal Realm Collectors group on Facebook.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, that's gonna be a community for everybody who's supporting the line, who love those action figures, and you're free to go and there. I mean, you're right now in the group. And I mean, there's a bunch of guys right now. I think we're around 100 members right now on the Facebook group.
Yeah, folks just sort of posting all sorts of stuff, including the creators are in there dropping some things. So it's a great place to be, to look at.
And actually, we have some exclusive images just for the Facebook group.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, that's there to check out. And just because there's so much to go over, let's keep moving. This is no, I'm just kidding. I think it's hilarious to see big dude. And then
I know.
She's like, oh, hey, what's up, Jason? But the big news is that this Tuesday, folks, Brutal Realms Kickstarter will be launching. So Realm Toys is the name of the outfit that's doing this. This Tuesday, they'll kick off their campaign. So keep an eye out. And so, you know, check out the Facebook group for sure.
Yeah, we're going to be giving updates there on my Instagram and Brutal Realm Instagram. They have a Instagram community also where they throw images and stuff like that. So you can participate on the community also on Instagram. I mean, keep the eye, because this Kickstarter is going to be impressive, amazing, and especially for the toy photographers and people who like to play with toys and stuff like that. I mean, the poses you can get out of those bulky figures is insane.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that such big, beefy, who was it that was referring to them as round muscles, or somebody talking about it recently? But these types of figures would be so posable. And speaking of toy photographers, they hired one of the best. We saw him here earlier, and I don't know if he's still here, but Trevor Williams. And so because these are such big, beefy figures, they couldn't even fit in one Instagram post, which I love that they did this. So they started trickling out, and it was like within a day, they started trickling out this one, and they'd be like puzzle pieces, right? And then this was a shot. This is one of Trevor's shots, sort of like
that's all Trevor right there,
tiled together to sort of show the split personality or the dual forms of this character, Crowman.
That's Crowman's whole body type and face sculpt. They have a new face sculpt. They have a new body. But they're still using Trevor's amazing photography because, I mean, why not, right? I mean, but yeah, Trevor is the official photographer for these guys.
Don't say anything bad.
And dude, I was looking at those images and I was like, oh my God, dude, that's insane. I love
Yeah.
the one with the fire. Man, that's crazy.
So like the part of the lore is that, you know, this guy has a demon in him and changes forms. And like you just said, this is an early prototype that Trevor had access to. And since then they've been continuing to develop this character and have a thing that we'll look at in a second, because they did share something that they would like me to reveal today.
1.0 body. Now they have a 2.0. And I think the Amazing did kind of like a review on those figures. I think Pixel done maybe, and I believe there's one coming my way to review. But yeah, look at that, dude.
Look out for the badass reviews. Here is, I'm forgetting his name. I'm sorry, I don't. Do you happen to remember? Well, I could just click and read. It's that whole reading thing, the power of reading. Cronin. Cronien, I don't know, with the umlaut over it. But here he is. Again, another character in the line. We've talked a lot about him here, but I just wanted to show again Trevor's work. But Trevor just today posted the actual full shot. Beautiful.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
The fire effects that you were just referring to look so good. Like this is an earlier body, right? But you already kind of see the articulation scheme. And they had this at Joe Fest, and Adam was there, and he was telling me that he got to, you know, handle them. And he's saying he's actually surprised at how well they move when he got to play with them at Joe Fest, which is awesome. And
they're going to be at Joe Lanta. That's September, I believe.
Yep.
So
and then
they're going to be there.
And then we go to boom. There's the alternate shot. That works really well. So I think Trevor, you're like, I can't move this body at all. Just got to get the head on there. But yeah, excellent job. He looks so cool with that deco, that sort of tattoo or mark on him.
That's totally me right there, dude. I love that thing.
Love it. And so they did share 2 images that will be going up on their Instagram tomorrow, but they wanted me to kind of share it here today in the live of what the new body and face sculpt looks. So you can kind of see that there has been definitely some significant changes to the face.
That's beautiful.
And it's also in the Facebook group. They've showed the renders, but this is what the prototype is looking like. You can kind of see it has definitely changed from the first version.
Yeah, that was more like the other one was more kind of like a caveman guy. This one is more barbarian. I'm gonna kick your butt guy.
This one's definitely also a little more stoic, right? This one is like run for the hills.
Get ready.
And then, you know, as we said, he has the other forms. So even the skull, there's the 1.0, and here is the new sort of like current iteration that is getting closer to the final. Again, a little bit more of a expressiveness to the eyes and everything.
Yeah, like I'm enjoying this.
Look at that, the posing. As you pointed out, when the body, they move really well, especially for something that has so much like muscle and mass to kind of like move through. So
it reminds me a little of the Filmation He-Man cartoon. Remember those bulky guys? They were actually filming bodybuilders, how they move.
Yep.
So these kind of like remind me that.
And I've totally thought this exact thought. Mother. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Glenn Danzig.
But Ray's of the opinion that the new head is better. I'm definitely feeling the new head more as well. Danzig wishes. Sculpts turned out great. Absolutely. And I'm with you. I want to see the ladies that we sort of were able to share here at one point, and that now they're on the Facebook group. You should definitely take a look at both the generic Buck and the Athena character as well. Is her name Athena? Did they land on a name? Okay. Cool. I hope I was supposed to share that. Okay. I will say, so that's that. Looking forward to that. Another sort of line that did a Kickstarter this past year was Creative Beast Studios launched or crowdfunded a new line, and that's Cyberzoic. And I've shared a lot about that.
That's crazy.
But this week, they shared that they're having a collaboration with PBS EONs, which is an amazing like content series of the sort of history of Earth, including prehistoric animals, right? And so they tease this with this sort of like shadow on a wall, cave painting of a woolly mammoth. And then they shared this a couple days ago.
That size.
Beautiful, yeah. So and yeah, these are going to be small at first. They're doing that at 1/18th scale.
Still big.
But I must say that in the past, for their dinosaurs, they often will do small versions and do large versions. There are options. Who knows what will happen? But even the 1/18th of the mammoth is going to be
it's going to be huge.
It's about 6 inches tall, which could work for, like, again, in this fantasy world, like Battle Cat next to He-Man was like, it's fantasy. So whatever, folks can do with what they will, but I think I'm looking at all the articulation points and just knowing what they've done already with their Beasts of the Mesozoic line.
That's insane, dude.
It's going to be beautiful. And today, Adam was at Joe Fest, and on the monkey business stream that I was just on earlier, he shared this.
Ooh, the baby.
This is his photo, highly articulated photo. This is that little guy that's sort of seen down here. He said this was tiny, like 2 or 3 inches. But look at all the sort of articulation packed in, right? Think of JoyToy and what they're able to achieve.
I can put them to fight JoyToy, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, that mammoth works perfectly for my space wolves. They live in a planet where everything is like ice and stuff like that. So yeah, that works.
And this is not even sorry, Alberto, not the case. But if you're familiar with their work, man, the painting is gorgeous. And Adam's chiming in. The mammoths was between 9 in real life, 9 and 12 feet tall. So not huge, even at 112. We have a perception sometimes because of what we see in cartoons and stuff of maybe how big they were. That said, Adam also had some video. Let me go ahead and wait, is this the right one? Yeah, I think this is the right one. Let's see it if this works. Yeah. So you can kind of see around the thing a little bit. And yeah, you know, I'm really excited to kind of see this thing. The sculpt is going to be beautiful. Imagine what the mama / papa big adult thing is going to look like. So anyway, I just wanted to tease we're moving because there's so much to see. Look, done. Yeah. So it's some amazing stuff, man. Let me go ahead and remove this guy and get back to this. So more great stuff coming out of Creative Beast Studio, more great things to look at and just admire because we don't spend money ever. But if you're feeling wild, go buy it. Okay, let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk art. Friend of the channel, one of my favorite artists who is just killing it with pop cultural art, as well as obviously like Utama Prasta, who does the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom comic book art and concepts that eventually get turned into 3D. He released this, I think it was this week. Yeah, 5 days ago. And this is Gatchaman. You and I, before this, we're talking Gatchaman, aka G-Force from Battle of
Fuerza
G, which was a localization in Latin America, and then in the United States, it was Battle of the Planets.
Battle of the Planets.
Curious, did you guys have Seven's Arc 7 in your version?
Seven's Arc 7?
A robot that would kind of like guide them and at base. Okay, because that was a total US creation for the US version, and it was voiced by Casey Kasem.
I don't think so, because what we have was the version from Japan, the first version.
Okay, so your version was better, because they you know, like they do with like Power Rangers, and you get like I forget the name of the guy who guides the kids.
No, we didn't have that. We have that the style where I think wasn't like I mean, if you put it in perspective, like if I watch cartoons now compared to the cartoons that I was watching back in the days, like Captain Harlock, dude, it was so depressing.
Harlock, yeah.
And I was like, and I was watching that as a kid, because I mean, as a kid, you don't understand that much.
No.
But now, as an adult, I find out, okay, so actually, Captain Harlock was made out of kind of like a protest type of cartoon dedicated to the World War II, you know, and stuff like that. And I didn't think about like people that were rejected back in the days because they have a format of certain type of people that fit in society. So it's crazy.
Japanese pop culture didn't hide from it. And the other thing with Japanese pop culture is what we sort of were like, oh, cartoons are for kids, comics are for kids. Not the case there, right? It was for everybody. So they were able to tell more adult stories, and oftentimes what they presented to kids were more adult fare sometimes than what would be right here. So
which was fine to me, because look at the person I am right now, and I thank all those cartoons, you know, like the type of guy, the type of parent 100%. I am right now, you know.
100%. And so this was Utama's work, and I love it. He's been he cranks out seemingly these sort of like my favorite characters kind of thing, and he's had these for a while and has used them for different things. But this is dope, and I was excited to see anything Gatchaman. Like seriously, like it's one of those properties that I haven't seen yet in toy form that I want. The Storm collectibles are close. I've kind of been waiting, largely because of like their history with teams, and I'm like, are they going to finish or not?
I know, dude.
Yeah. But we have some options, because this came up.
Yep. Actually, I shared that on my Instagram account.
This is you right here.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Right there. So Ramen Toys actually acquired the license for Gatchaman 2. Mm-hmm. So just to not get mixed, it's not gonna be 112. Okay, mm-hmm. It's gonna be I think that's gonna be like 3 3/4, kind of like mask size of characters, and we're gonna have some vehicles. We're gonna have some vehicles there. I can't say that much because I don't know that much. I was talking to Ace from Ramen Toys, which is an amazing guy. I mean, I love the guy. We're really good friends. Mm-hmm. And we talk pretty much on the daily basis about life, stuff
nice.
But I'm really excited. Me too. Because I mean, he got the license for Gatchaman 2, and we're gonna have some cool toys from that line and from that cartoon from our childhood, you know.
So that's what I'm excited about. Now you're breaking it down that it's not necessarily going to be 112, and for me, like that's where I'm collecting, and I like my figures to work together, which is fine. Mm-hmm. I'm happy to hear that. That might also be like hey, for me at least, I might want to consider the Storm ones, right? They are. I in fact know, Trevor, for sure that like even though I didn't get them, I know they're good. It's good. I just haven't done it yet. Hearing that this is smaller, like okay, that's helping me decide. But the nice thing about it, as you pointed out, is that allows for vehicles. And so much of Science Ninja Team Gatchaman, aka G-Force, was not just those 5 awesome characters of teenagers, by the way, who, you know, became this like ninja fighting force of birds, right? You got the duck, the condor, the eagle over here, the owl, and the swan. But they also flew around in an awesome ship. Oops.
That's the one.
This one first.
That's
This
the
is
first
the
one.
first, yes,
That's
which was the
Gatchaman
Phoenix.
1, which is the Phoenix from my cartoon when I was a kid, right?
Yep.
But then the 2 is the one, the image that you have next, right there.
Yep.
Which is that one right there, which is the white one, and those vehicles right there. So we're gonna have options. And I mean, I'm hoping. I can tell you right now with like 100% sure which vehicles Ace is going to attack first, or the figures, or if the figures are going to come with the vehicles, or how it's going to work, honestly. But we can have Ace as a guest anytime. He's a guy that is always, you know, like he likes to talk firsthand of all his properties and stuff like that. So and he's really accessible, and he's like totally transparent with stuff. So he will tell you like what's gonna come next. But what I like, this is more into the realm of Ace and Ramen Toys, right? Because he's more focused into vehicle stuff, you know, like and so far what he's releasing is insane. And this vehicle specifically, that Phoenix vehicle, comes with a lot of features. The one from the white version, not the blue one, but the white version. So I would love to see what Ace can do with that vehicle right there.
If you're not following Ramen Toy, I mean, I don't want to tell you, but you should, because they've, particularly in the vehicle realm and or sort of like accessory, not action feature, but I don't know, like the interchangeability of parts and movement of parts. That's definitely been something that they've been honing, whether it was with the Mask, which are like these transforming cars with moving parts,
they're amazing.
or the I'm trying to remember what. Yeah, the Ramen Racer for sure, which has like multiple parts I can switch out, which I think is brilliant.
1/12 scale.
Yep, the new tank, same thing. But I'm thinking about the oh my gosh, Centurions. But I was trying to remember what he calls them. The ones that aren't Centurions, but something else.
Yeah.
But they have like the parts that come in and out. And again, that was early. But like with everything that they do, it seems like they're like honing different parts of their craft, looking at different engineering parts that combine. So that when I hear you say we're going to get Gatchaman 2 vehicles with smaller figures, that means, all the transforming bits, the moving bits, the pieces that go inside the vehicle and launch out, all of those things, I could see them doing that. That said, let's talk scale real quick to clarify. Ray wants to know, so what is the scale? Do you know which scale it will be?
It's pretty much like Mask scale. That's what. That's 1/8. That's not 1/18. I think
it's small. It's smaller than 1/18. So Mask were smaller figures. We don't know the scale. Whatever.
It's gonna be the same scale as his Mask type vehicles. That's what I understand. I can be wrong. Because I didn't have a full conversation with him before the show. I mean, I can ask to clarify down the road.
And we can check it out on your channel or which we'll talk about in a second, or here, like whatever. We can, as you said, Ace is very accessible. And when he's ready to reveal some of those details, he absolutely will. Yeah. But at this point, it's smaller than 1/12, I think, is the main thing to realize. So that helps me. But either way, even if I'm not quite in for this, like I'm in for his Marshall because like that's my scale and that's going to look beautiful. I'm just happy that it exists, that someone picked up the license and there's going to be a little bit more Gatchaman in the world, because this is one of those properties that I think more people need to know about. And as long as it's sort of alive and around, I'm happy. So I guess we'll keep looking out for that. Definitely, if what Carlos is saying right now, it's going to be smaller than 1/18, maybe 3 inches. We don't know. Again, we'll wait for Ace for more details. But the definitive is through Carlos, Ace was real clear with Carlos, and he brought that up to me. He's like, hey, let's be real clear that if we don't want to set expectations for people who are going to get the original Phoenix, but they're going to be getting Gatchaman 2's Phoenix.
2, correct.
The characters essentially are the same.
Same characters.
It's the vehicles that are going to be a little bit different. And it's interesting. Like I said, just cool toys out in the world is exciting. And to know that Ramen was able to actually nail a license, because like we know, this is no secret that he has flirted with this, not getting actual licenses with other things. And not because he's necessarily hasn't tried or wanted to, right? But in this case, he was able to get a license. He's going to make it, and we'll see where it goes. And I'm really, really excited about it. More excited that it's licensed, actually, because I think that's a really good thing for Ramen, and I think it's a great thing for Gatchaman. So all that to come back to this. Love this work. Love Utama's work.
Beautiful.
Keep looking out on my channel for some announcements about his work and maybe the potential of being able to buy some of his artwork here in the States. There's something that he and I are working on to make that happen. But let's go ahead and start wrapping up. And let's end with this guy, because if you have enjoyed listening to this guy, this badass who reviews stuff, Carlos, he's busy on multiple platforms, whether it's IG, TikTok, YouTube, doing what we're doing here, but and then like even more so, really doing reviews, breaking things down, as you kind of saw in the beginning with his JoyToy stuff. So let's start here and help us know where can people find you and what's maybe the difference if they want to check one platform versus the other.
Yeah, TikTok is pretty much like really fast stuff, right? I just show some pictures, like flashbacks and stuff, like really short videos of whatever I like. And that's for the people that doesn't have time, actually. And they just go into TikTok and take a look, really like 60 seconds, boom, that's it. And my Instagram account is more dedicated to Toyphotography and toy news.
Beautiful
right?
Stuff. Yep.
I do photography for, I'm really fortunate and humbled to do some photography for Mythic Legions, for Savage Crucible, for JoyToy, for YOLO Park, you name it. I've been working with some amazing companies, some amazing people, and I have so much inspiration. Trevor is one of my inspirations by doing this. I do this as a hobby.
That's great, man.
Just because I love action figures. That's it, period. Just because I love action figures. And my YouTube channel is more dedicated to the actual toy reviews. It's actually more like about toy reviews, like plain toy reviews. I try to, have stuff that not too many people have. And but that's pretty much what it is. You can find me on the Badass Reviews, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Yeah, definitely go head over, sub, follow, do all of those things, like the videos, let folks, that lets other folks
the Marvel
know.
Legends,
this figure that you're just showing us.
Right there.
And you do a really great job of taking the figures to their paces and showing us what's up. I love it, man. And what I appreciate is you've got a variety of stuff. Like, again, that's why I like the JoyToy stuff. Like, these aren't things that I necessarily have been following or just can't buy. So it's like, okay, cool. I'm going to check out what he's got. You got this, which is great. Like, this is stuff that hasn't hit shelves yet or hasn't been in people's hands. So this is the newest wave of the Zezray stuff that you got early.
Yes. Well, I was working with Zezray Studios directly also. And they send those figures for me to review. Man, they're amazing.
That's great, man.
Oh, man, they're awesome. They're awesome. So good looking.
Well, man, you've been busy and you are a busy person, but you're super talented, doing some great stuff. And I'm really, really happy to have you here. Finally. Yeah, man, sorry it didn't happen sooner. But actually, before that, you also do this thing with this other guy.
My brother, Jorge.
Yeah. So the Toy Addicts podcast, which is technically now the Toy Addicts vidcast. I should put that in.
Toy Addicts Anonymous. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, we talk about toys. Pretty much what you do here. A little bit, I will say, less elaborated, because what you have, this, I mean, it's amazing, and I mean, you need to give credit who deserve, and I mean, I love your format, your channel, and everything.
Thanks, man.
But yeah, we talk about toys. We just have fun, man. We're just two guys that love action figures. And stay tuned, because we have something going on. So yeah, I mean, you're gonna be one of the first ones who actually know.
Okay.
So yeah, stay tuned, because we have something going on. Hopefully, by the end of the year, we're gonna have something really, really good for everybody. Yeah.
Well, you know, you all, I wasn't sure to bring it up or not, but you all have talked about some plans and visions for the future.
Plans to make our own toy line.
Yes.
We are right now into like the designs for the first character. Actually, Jorge, which is an amazing designer.
Yes.
He's on it right now with a couple of other guys that are helping us. They're like super talented. I don't want to mention names right now.
Sure.
We have some good people in the community that are helping us. And it's gonna be funny that we're talking from Brutal Realm, but the line is gonna call From the Realm.
And so, I've actually shared some images of things that you all have put up. And that's over here. And let me go ahead and I've shared this before.
Go ahead and show it. Yeah, that's the logo From the Realm.
Yep. So horror-based stuff.
Correct.
And it's pretty intriguing. And especially when you start looking at some of the things that are getting sculpted, like accessories, you're just like, oh man,
I hope
this
you like
is
it.
Easily stuff that's gonna fit on the shelf, man.
Yeah,
100%.
And it's gonna be a kind of like in like between Mythic Legion's Savage Crucible type of size
scale.
Scale. It's gonna be the actual. I will say the main goal is to make a character based on horror, right? That you don't need to look anyone else. You're gonna have the definitive character.
Interesting. So this is the definitive werewolf, the definitive Dracula.
It's gonna be our envision of what's gonna be the definitive character from every realm possible. It's gonna be dark, obscure characters from every realm. So yeah, stay tuned, because it's the sky is the limit. We're really excited. We're gonna launch that soon. Yeah, you like it?
Oh, definitely. I've been following this stuff. I was like so excited to see Jorge. Like at first he'd talk on the podcast, and so we're like, yeah, someday I'd like to get in the toy industry. And then you'd start to see, I want to do more art. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, here's my picture of, I think it was a lion or it was a Thundercat. And then it's like, oh, check this out.
This is a dream. And
great, man.
You know, Jorge is one of the most noble and amazing guys I know.
It's great.
He's a guy that deserves. He's a guy that deserves everything, because he's so passionate, and finally he's getting into this toy industry, and it's by pure effort.
It's great. Hard worker, got the talent, building on it. That's what it's about. You've got, we're talking vampires, werewolves, Wendigos have been teased so far.
You name it, dude. Chupacabras,
I'm here for
whatever.
it, man. Chupacabras. Hey, man, I'll hip you to some stuff in the Philippines. We got to see some aswang, some manananggal / aswang, whatever, man. There's a ton of cool stuff. Some stuff that I got to talk with Placia Addicto on this channel a couple weeks ago. So there's stuff there, man. And like the Brutal Realm, I'll just throw that out there.
Yep.
Consider branching us out a little and informing people, giving more people access to things that they didn't know about, that they're going to be like, holy crap, this is awesome. I wish I knew about monsters and creatures from other cultures and parts of the world that they need to know about.
Yep.
All right, man. We should wrap up, but I will address this. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna have to change that. Sorry for the bait and switch there. Liquid Identity Super 7 did announce that they're for their Dungeons and Dragons line. They're doing a Vecna. It's beautiful. I will tell you this. In about an hour or so over on the Geek Dad Live channel, I'll be there. I believe Kyle from Super 7 will be there, who worked on that, and we're gonna probably be talking a ton about that Dungeons and Dragons stuff. So consider that a tease and a tie-in come through over there. All right, man. Hey, I'm excited for you. Between like the toy reviewing, doing all this, like getting access to stuff early, and just having the relationship with Zezre, with Ramen, that's fantastic. But now for you and your podcasting partner to be able to like wrap your heads and be a creative force and create new stuff, that's awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate all the support, man.
Yeah, man.
The community, the friends. And at the end of the day, this is about, to me at least, is about friendship and all the relationships that you can create on this community, and like doing what you love is priceless.
Yep. Hey man, I really can't wait. You guys are doing some good stuff here. I'll just do this and say we will be watching your career with great interest, sir. Okay. That's the closest I'll do to showing love to Phantom Menace. Hey man, thank you so much for finally being able to come over here. I'm sorry I didn't invite you.
It's an honor, man. Anytime.
Anonymous. You there?
Right.
Did I lose you?
Yep.
When is Toy Addicts Anonymous? Is it what days of the week?
Well, we have Toy Addicts Anonymous. We switch sometimes because I was on vacation and Jorge also was on vacation. So we actually sometimes we're live on Tuesdays or Thursdays at 8 p.m. So yeah.
Here, even better. Go over to Toy Addicts 26.
Anonymous, yes.
Yeah, and
Toy Addicts 26.
Subscribe over there. I'm going to drop this into the chat for the.
Please.
Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Thank you all so much. Really appreciate you for sticking through, hanging out with us to talk toys and the Needless Ephemera We Saw. We'll see you all soon. So yeah. All right, folks. Thank you very much. I don't have a cool ending, so I always just sort of hit this button and then it's